Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It is October 10th, 2015, and it is being reported that a peace march was bombed in Ankara, Turkey, the capital city. What I want to show you in this video is how everything about this bombing is by the numbers, just as most mainstream media reported stories are. Today, every single news network is reporting that 86 people are dead and 186 are injured. Notice the duplicates of 86. As it happens, the city Ankara, Turkey, the location, has identical gematria to the word 86. 86 is also a very important number in this study of gematria. The words symbol, triangle, and pyramid all sum to 86. When you think of 86 in bombings, it might come to your mind the bombing of Hiroshima on the date of August 6th, 8/6, 1945. The plane that dropped that bomb, Truth Seeker, the Enola Gay, has identical gematria to the word terrorism. And if you look up the old world definition of terrorism, it is government by fear, government by intimidation. That is the original definition of terrorism. It has everything to do with government. Of course, in the post 9/11 era, they have shifted the focus of terrorism away from governments and put it on Islamic extremists, which is, I'm sure, what they will end up blaming it on in Turkey as well. Let's begin by watching this mainstream media coverage, and then I want to show you all that is coded into this story. Turkey has been participating with the United States very much recently in the war against ISIS, a war that began after the United States beat the war drum with Syria but did not gain public support back in 2013. Shortly after that failure to launch a war with Syria, we have been bombarded with mainstream headlines of this gang ISIS, the biggest boogeyman since Al Qaeda, ever since. So let's watch this mainstream reporting. Also, as you watch this reporting, I want you to think about how Arwa Damon, this CNN reporter, somehow magically is always on site for these international bombings within record time. She covers a monster geographic area outside of the United States, and she is always right there when these terrorist attacks happen. How could that be, Truth Seeker? Just think about it. If you just look at the information on the surface and put a little thought to it, you can quickly see through the hoax. All of these events are coordinated with the media and world governments. This is the work of the synagogue of Satan, the false Jews, the Zionist Jews out of Israel who control the mainstream media, and a whole lot more. Here we go.
Peace between the Turkish government. Just arrived on scene, the explosion happening right behind us in front of the train station here, and you can see forensic teams are on the ground as well as other officials. The force of the blast evident in the blown out windows of the train station. Some 14,000 people had gathered already for what was supposed to be a peace rally calling for peace between the Turkish government and the Kurdish PKK. There has been some pretty intense fighting that has been taking place for the last few months. People coming here wanting to express their desire for peace, and what is now being called a despicable terrorist attack then unfolding. Two explosions happening at around 10:04 in the morning.
Around 10:04, remember that 10:4 means message received.
Not entirely clear at this stage if it was a bomb that was placed, if it was a suicide bomb, or no claims of responsibility just yet either. People around us who have come to just look at the scene, all very understandably somber. Everyone really shocked, reeling from this attack. The last such attack took.
Notice how the paramedic van they just had up and on the back of that guy's sweatshirt was number 112. Recall that 112 is the alternate dialing code for 911 in the United States. I just did a video on this in regards to the story out of Atlanta where the mother had to dial 911 on her children that were supposedly trying to kill her and her husband. The entire story was coded with 112, the alternate for 911. They put all these numbers on the screen on purpose.
Place over the summer in the southern town of Suruc. There, in that instance, the attack was on a group mostly of youth who had come together to try to collect humanitarian aid to send into the Syrian city of Kobani. And now we have this attack as well, this time against a peace rally.
Against a peace rally. You know who doesn't want peace in this world? World governments, because they steal their money from their people with lies such as war. Just wait until we get to see how much the U.S. is training rebel fighters in Turkey right now. Just wait until you see how much money they're spending. We'll get to all that, Truth Seeker. World governments don't want peace because peace is not profitable. So we talked about the 86 connections, the significance of 86. Every single mainstream outlet, BBC, ABC, CNN, USA Today, Reuters, NBC News, all saying 86 dead. Look at the gematria of Ankara, Turkey, Truth Seeker, 928, exactly like the word 86. A perfect match. The bombing is in Ankara, Turkey, the capital. Again, the words symbol, triangle, and pyramid equal 86. This number shows up a lot in terrorism, including the bombing of Hiroshima, one of the biggest acts of terrorism ever. And again, the original definition of terrorism is government by intimidation and fear. Think about what Hiroshima represented, and think about the Cold War and the threat of nuclear annihilation that followed for many people of the world in the many years after, even up to the present. Also, today's date of October 10th, the date of the bombing, 10/10, is a number connected to Revelation, where the synagogue of Satan are named, the false Jews who will rule in the end times. And again, in this world, that is the Zionist Jews who control the media with a stranglehold. They call themselves the synagogue of Satan. Today's date has a numerology of 55, a number very much connected to Satan. The word Satan has gematria of 55. Today's date also has a life lesson number of 28. Turkey in Pythagorean gematria equals 28. This city, Ankara, is on the 39th parallel north. Revelation, the final book of the Bible, is based on the 39 books of the Old Testament. A lot of Revelation coding today. The city is also on the 32nd meridian east, just a hair off the 33rd. Masonic numbers. The people who run the media are Masonic Zionist Jews. Ankara equals 133. In the video we just watched of CNN, it ran a minute 33. Not a coincidence. CNN loves to code their video lengths with numbers that have to do with the story. In this case, the bombing, Ankara, the city, has gematria of 133 in the Jewish format. Also, in simple English gematria, Ankara equals 46. They said a peace march was bombed. Peace march equals 46. And of course, they do this purposefully just to up the antics, to up the drama, to instill in the minds of the sheep that there's a really evil enemy out there who even bombs peace marches. The truth is, the only people sick enough to do this are the Zionist Jews, the Masonic Jews, the same ones responsible for 9/11, the bombing of Hiroshima, and a whole lot more. The same people who continue to get away with all of this and using other people as scapegoats. On August 10th, 2015, there was another bombing in Turkey, a date with 33 numerology. 33 is another number often found in the hoaxes. 28 and 33 have a direct connection. When you write out 28 in Summit, it sums to 156. When you write out 33 in Summit, it sums to 156. 156 is the God number in English. These numbers show up in major acts of terrorism. In regards to 9/11, the World Trade Centers were open for 28 years from 73 to 2001, but existed for 33 years from 68 to 2001 when construction began. In 68, 911 was also made the national emergency dialing code. Think about that. In the most recent act of terrorism, the worst one since 9/11 in the United States, it was blamed on the Tsarnaev brothers. The older brother had a life number of 28. The younger one had a life number of 33. And there's a whole lot more to it than that. I just want you to understand the significance of 28 and 33 and why they show up in terrorism so much. Another story, dozens dead after terror attack in Turkish border city of Suruc. They said 28 were dead. Again, Turkey has Pythagorean gematria of 28. Saruk has simple English gematria of 82, the reflection of 28. This came days after the bombing of Tunisia, where they said 39 people were killed. Tunisia has gematria of 93, the reflection of 39. Important numbers to the Zionists. The president of Turkey, or the prime minister, same thing, is Ahmet Davutoglu. This name gematria, Ahmet is 20, Davutoglu is 33. So many world leaders have 33 names. This is the sign that they are Zionist agents, coded agents, true all over this world. Some of these leaders with 33 names even have ridiculous sounding names. The president of Iraq is Jalal Talabani, a completely ridiculous sounding name that sums to 33. In simple English gematria, Ahmet equals 47, like the word president, the equivalent of prime minister. PM has initials that break down to 74, the reflection of 47. His last name in simple English gematria sums to 123, the number of conspiracy, and his full name in simple English equals 170, like World War III. World War III, no doubt, is coming. It's been foreshadowed, and Turkey will very much be a player in it because they are an ally of the United States and the West. Notice that he has a life number of 106, the number of prophecy. He has been bombing Syria. Syria's leader, Bashar al-Assad, has name gematria of 106 and a September 11th birthday. All of these people are actor agents selling their people out. The Zionists control both sides. The Arab League, which Syria is a part of, was established on March 22nd in history after World War II. 322 or 22/3. Remember, the number for the synagogue of Satan is 223. Talk a lot about that coding. It comes from Revelation in the Bible, the playbook. Right now, the U.S. is spending $1 million per person to train soldiers to fight ISIS in Turkey. I show you this just to show you how involved Turkey is with the United States. This government is under the same control as the United States, and also just think about how disgusting it is to spend $1 million per person to train them to fight an unnecessary fight when we live in a world where schools are underfunded, kids are undernourished, and all sorts of things that need funding, there's no funding for. Most money in this world, most taxpayer dollars are stolen for the purpose of war. Breaking news from August. For the first time, the United States has launched manned airstrikes from base inside Turkey against ISIS in Syria. See how all this comes together, Truth Seeker? This is why Turkey's bombed today. Also, it took place at a train station. Think about all the stuff going on with trains lately. Turkey's also doing the bombing with their air force on Syria. Everything by the numbers, Truth Seeker. These Zionist Masons, they are an international gang. It is an international conspiracy. And from the United States to Turkey and beyond, all of these news stories, all of these hoaxes are done by the numbers. All right, until next time.